We're live.
Hey everybody! Thank you so much for tuning into Live from Cleveland at Home. We are here with Muamin Collective, and we are joined by these two lovely gentlemen right here. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. They've got a brand new album out called Tailor Made, and we are going to be kind of breaking it down song by song, listening together, and they're going to be answering my questions as well as your questions. So that'll be up next in the program. Guys, do you want to say hi and introduce yourselves? Let us know what you do in the collective.
Sure. My name is Josiah, also known as Zion. I've been down with Muamin since just about day one. I wasn't there when the name first was created, but since the first real show with completed songs and were performed out anywhere, I've been down. My man A-Live been down forever. He's not on the call right now. But I provide have provided most of the songwriting thrust as far as through our history.
Can I cut in real quick? Can we restart? There was some audio issues I didn't catch until I just listened to it.
It sounded okay from here.
It's fixed now. If you guys want to reintroduce yourself. Yeah.
Should we redo everything, or just kind of come back in on that question?
Whatever you want to do for your stream, for your recording.
For the recording?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you want to do it from the beginning,
we want to restart again.
All right, take two.
Take two. Yeah.
Okay, we're good now.
Okay. All right. Okay, so let us know when it starts. Okay.
Okay. Let me. Okay, we're back.
All right. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in one more time to Live from Cleveland at Home. We are here today with Muamin Collective. They have a brand new album out called Tailor Made. And we're going to be talking to them a little bit tonight about the songs, listening to the songs together. And they're going to let us know where we can find more information out about them. And we're joined by two members of Muamin Collective right now. Guys, did you want to introduce yourselves and say hi to everybody watching at home?
For sure. What up, YouTube? What up, Facebook? What up, everybody tuning in Cleveland, around the world, wherever you are? I'm Josiah Quarles. For those of you who know me personally, you know that. Go by Zion. One part of this collective called Muamin. I came in almost at the beginning. My man R.I. Washington spoke the first words. A-Live produced, you know what I'm saying, from the beginning, and I stepped right back in. And from that point, from the very first time we had real songs together, I've been crafting those. And so that's me. I'm an MC, poet, person, father, soccer coach. And it's my brother right here.
What? Hey y'all, how y'all do? It's James Quarles, aka Jungle from the Moo. Joined the collective, a few years ago, but been riding with the brothers since, obviously since birth. But been putting this music thing together through the L Camp, through the Moo, the fresh produce, everything is all linked together, the Morning, the Black Star, all the crews, like Obnox, we all grew off that. So been a student of this game in the local music community for a grip now. As far as my contribution to the collective, it is mainly some songwriting, some spitting, some singing, and some graphics. So whenever you see the graphics, for the most part, you know who's responsible for that. So.
You're like the visual artist of the group for sure. Yeah. I've seen so many good James designs in the past, so that's awesome. And you guys mentioned A-Live also, who just couldn't be with us tonight, but I'm sure he's watching from home, which is awesome. And if he has anything to contribute, he can drop it in the comments actually. So anybody who's watching and listening to the live stream is more than welcome to leave comments and messages for us to ask these guys as well. But I kind of wanted to get people reacquainted with Muamin Collective a little bit, which you guys did a great job starting and telling us about the group. I think you guys were on Live from Cleveland a bunch of years ago. It's been a little while. So kind of give people a little bit of a background about how this collective started and when it started. If you had to do like your own memoir in a couple minutes, what would you tell people? Like how did you put the group together?
Yeah, so I kind of got open that box up a little bit in the introduction. And the last time we were down there, that was when we was. Did you come down there for that gig? Okay, yeah. So when we came down there for that gig, that was when like my brother was really getting incorporated into it. We had just done Dig, which was like a kind of a best of like reimagining of songs from different albums played out with some amazing players from Cleveland. Shout out to Mike McNamara, Neil Chastain, Jacob Wynn, who was Eli Hanley. It was some other people who lent their hands in here and there, but those were the players on the actual record. I don't know if anybody else came out, but shout out to Cuddy too, because Cuddy played so many hits with us.
Cuddy,
that's my man's. Shout out to Red Brass for sure. But that was like in that period where he had come in. Just I don't even know exactly how it happened. Where you just was there was it was Dig was a song that had a vocal sample, and you just started vibing on it. And like because we were doing the live band thing, we weren't gonna have a triggering beats, so that element wasn't going to be in it, and you was just vibing on it and singing it, and it had a verse for it, and it just was perfect. So that was like boom. I'm like, this is where it's at. But that was just like a retrospective. That was the one new song on that album. So when we came down there, but so for the previous 3, had just been me and A on the beats, me on the rhymes, and he used to spit. He got flows. I don't know why he tried to act like he can't rap anymore or something. He don't want to rap no more.
Get out of retirement.
We try to get him to, but yeah, I came back from VA and I met back up with A at a party at Rafiq's down on 72nd. It was doing some crazy stuff. It was like it was all the cats from This Moment in Black History was there, but it was they weren't doing that. They were doing some weird like tribal African like metal thrash. It was crazy. Chris Colsar was humping a drum, and I don't know. I saw Aaron in the back, and I hadn't seen him since I was like 15, 16 years old. But we had known each other when we were growing up. So I'm like, oh, that's my man. I got back. I'm like, I'm here. He's like, I'm here. He's like, I'm making beats. I'm like, oh, for real. So at that point, I just started going. He was staying in Lakewood, man. I catch the bus all the way out to Lakewood. We hang out, or he come out my way, and we'd hang out. And James was around for a lot of that. Just in the back cave, we had this little room above the garage. And we kind of turned it into a makeshift studio, started making dummies, and like the Spy Bar was happening at that time, like as far as the open mic scene. So we go down there, our man Tim, shout out to Asian Tim, you know what I'm saying? Any old school raver party cats, underground cats, they know DJ on it. But he used to be our DJ. We'd go over there and wreck, go over to Feeks and get it together. And then we just go to shows and just start tossing out CDs around, just freestyling outside, banging on garbage cans, like whatever. And got into the DIY scene, started doing stuff with all these punk cats. That's how we ended up, became full circle. The first time we really, really did a gig that we put together was at at Feek spot. It was called Inside Outside Gallery. It was us in this moment in Black history in Tremont. And my dude Iggy Kaufman, shout out to Iggy Kaufman. He shot the first video. See us at that party. We did a little extra B-roll, and you know, we really felt like we had something going. Started booking a bunch of shows, doing a bunch of free stuff, and then eventually, you know, crafting out a little lane. We dropped the first album, Industry Standard, and then came back and kept doing more. Shout out to Chris Urmansky. He was the first person to record us. He recorded the first 2 albums. And good dude. Worked a lot of gigs, was working at the club. So it was like this whole thing. Like we was underground, but we was working at a club playing like top 40 packed. Like Moto was huge. It was like the biggest club in 3 states. With so much money coming through there, like all kinds of people coming through there, everybody, you know, politicians, drug dealers, you know what I'm saying, pimps and hoes, just your everyday person getting off work, trying to have a good time, you know, like so many crazy scenes, but so much cool stuff, you know, big house DJs, all kind of people coming through. And so that was like really where we got a lot of the money to buy the equipment to do that, pushed on. And then, you know, by the time, like at the same time, like we were doing a lot of shows with Elemental, like we get booked to open. And you know how it is with the openers, they'll book an opener, but you know, they're trying to fill 2.5 hours of dead time until the headliner's gonna come, because it's a hip hop show. They're not showing up until midnight, you know, 1 o'clock in the morning. So we'd be like, we come in ready. We'd be like, we got our people with us. So we have a whole, you know, it would be us, but it would be them too. They wouldn't even be on the bill necessarily, but they'd be in the spot and they'd be ready. And if people were feeling it always, man, much love. We got on the new album, it's a track from Esteban from Elemental. Yeah, the WNTB joint. That's one of his joints. But that was always family. They used to be in the upper room, in the back cave as well, doing their thing. Mm-hmm. Like I used to hop on y'all joints.
Mm-hmm. Always at the bookend of an El Camp album. Yeah, you had to have the Joe like close it out like on some Big Rube style for those who know what that is.
But yeah,
this was a while back too. I mean, the names that you're dropping and the places you're dropping, like I can date it because I know about the Cleveland scene. But I mean, this is like, you know what, like back in 2005. Before then, like
even before
how long ago was
even this? Before then.
Even
yeah,
before
this
like
I came home in 01. Yeah. Came home in 01. We started really going hard in like 03. Like starting in 03. So really, I mean, like some of these events is taking place between 01 and 03, but like we really started going hard in 03.
Gotcha.
And so then boom, 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 it happens. Like Abe decides, you know, he really want to focus on the beats. So the So Blue Is Black album was really like kind of my whole conceptual idea album, and his just beats, and it had a lot of instrumental like interludes or beat tags at the end of songs, transitions and things like that, sort of to give his input where he wasn't spitting so much anymore. Had a couple features on it. Shout out to Jack Burton.
Jack Beasy.
Yeah, in the midst of all of that, we did the whole fair trade thing as well, just before that, after the World Be Free album. So shout out to Elijah Vasquez on that. He recorded the World Be Free album for us and was real heavy as far as involved in that. And Peerless from Moriarty.
Moriarty, what's up?
And so, yeah, you know, like heavy ties in the Coventry, but also heavy ties, you know, into what was going on in the DIY scene on the west side. And then we really started getting booked with like, you know, major gigs. Like they just hit us up on kind of the regular. So it was just an avenue that we knew that we had to express what we had to express. So we just kept trying to create a scene and a culture around that. So you got RBG that came about from that. You was on that. Tell him about what you was doing when you came You were still in Columbus then.
I was still in Columbus down. Like at the time I was going to CCAD, and I was living at a house full of very, very talented artists. One of my homies stays in Portland. He does work under Rather Severe. Check out his stuff. Istamo and Travis, keep doing your thing. Bobby, shout out to you. Gio. We used to have massive parties. And we would have these massive house parties, and we would have like This Moment in Black History come through, Obnox come through, Moo come through, and it would just be a bash.
That's the spot.
And yeah, it was great. And right on Parsons and Sycamore. And like around the time we just wanted to do like a holiday show, so we started drawing like different images, like one of Santa just like getting like beat up, you know, like Santa just looked like, you know, he just got mugged. You know what I'm saying? Like Santa got mugged for the gifts, you know, like, you know, red, black, and green Christmas, and just like trying to flip it with different imagery, different flyers, different lineups every year, trying to, you know, put on new acts, like new sounds, you know, new art. And yeah, it's been running for what
was it, 13 years, yeah, because it was 13. A year before Makai was born. Yeah. So yeah, 13 years now. So many people come through, and it's been great establishing, like, you know, a community. Shout out to Kiel, you know, 3 C's and shout out to Prime.
What up, Op?
You know, but yeah, so many people make it what it is. It's really a community, and like that's why, like, the name Collective, like, you know, at a certain time, like at a certain point in time, it was just like A on the beats and me rapping, but it was still Muamin Collective because it wasn't just us, man. It was everybody who was around us, who was shaping what we were doing. You know what I'm saying? And who was involved in it. I mean, it's about a movement, so. Yeah, so that I mean, that's it. And then we linked on the dig joint, and then we were like, let's make this just kind of a permanent thing. Shorty was doing her fresh produce thing, so it was like, all right, you know, my brother needs an avenue. Like, this seems to really fit well. So that's where the Hughes Brothers came about. So we did that, and that was that was 2 years ago. Just kind of like a real cinematic theme. If you're not familiar with the Hughes Brothers, 2 Black directors. They did From Hell, Menace to Society, American Pimp, Book of Eli. What am I missing?
Dead Presidents.
Dead Presidents, of course, Dead Presidents. Right. But yeah, so we kind of like to pull from that and then frame the album in that, and then the art on that is just crazy.
Oh, I'm glad you have the.
Yeah, that's the art there for that boy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you know.
Cool.
So he's gonna get some prints. He's slacking on the prints. We're gonna have some prints for that.
Well, you guys will need eventually, when you can start playing shows out again, and you actually did. I'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later, but you know, you'll need merch, so you get some of those prints so that you can turn them over there when we can. But yeah, so obviously over the course of 13 years, there's just been so many different people who have come through this collective, which is absolutely awesome. And it's been 13 years of just networking with people and meeting new musicians that you want to work with. So that's awesome. Who popped back up in this album? I heard a couple names that, you know, you mentioned before, the people you've been working with for a long time, that you've collaborated on other albums with. So who's popping up on the new album, Tailor Made, that you've worked with in the past, or maybe it was the first time around?
You want to start, and then I'll catch any you miss.
Well, let's see. Well, definitely got to mention E. Bella, like throwing down that what, WNTB.
Yeah.
But throwing down the
instrumental. What's the rules on language anyway? Just pause.
I can edit stuff out for the radio, but you know, if anybody's watching at home on the Facebook live stream, It's an adult show.
All right.
Some adult themes.
Right.
Okay.
We'll try to keep it clean, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
And the music don't matter.
The
music don't matter though, right?
No, it doesn't. No.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you're good.
That was good. All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, you did this beat for this track called "What Niggas Talking About," and it's great. And like that was, I think that's the first Ebello beat.
Yeah, we never used one before.
So that was the first one on there. So that's a huge contribution on the album. And then we have some of the players coming back.
We had Gio on the last one.
On Gio,
we had Gio on the last one, but yeah, Bello on this one. Yeah.
And then we have some of the same live instrument, like musicians who contributed to previous albums. Jake Wynn's coming back, laying down, the sax, and
the trumpet.
The trumpet, Casper coming back, laying down the sax, and Mike Mack coming back, laying down the get box, getting down. We got MF and Remix too.
Yeah, we got Remix.
MF and Remix. Shout out to Remix,
sure,
man. Thank you, God.
Cleveland legend, man. He really put it down on the scratches on the RAW. And then we got Antoine Pops on bass on Goodfoot.
Twan.
We got Twan.
That's perfect.
So I think that rounds it out. I don't think we missed anybody there.
And we also got Big Champa.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. We got Bam
Big Champa on it.
As DJ Nick Champa on the interlude.
So this is it's a big album. We're only gonna listen to maybe like five songs today. I think there's 6. Maybe we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But there's many, many more songs out there. So if people are interested in going to listen to Tailor Made on their own time, where can they find out more information about it? Where can they hear it or buy a copy also? I don't know if you have these out on vinyl yet or, if it's just digital.
So the vinyl, we're working on figuring out the vinyl right now. We're going to figure out something. It might just be a 7-inch, but we're going to figure out something on the vinyl. But the tape is definitely in the works, but that's not available. Right now, we do have CDs already. So we have physical CDs that are available, hand to hand. You can DM us or figure it out. We'll, you know what I'm saying? Eventually, they'll shortly, like not like years away. We're not talking about the vaccine. It's just a CD. We'll have that, up online and you can order it online. We're gonna, mess with stamps.com or something, figure that out. In this time, since we're not gonna be moving a whole bunch at concerts. But we also like digitally, if you go to MuaminCollective.com, which is that's our Bandcamp site, but we got the domain name, that'll help us out. Buy them on Fridays. Right now, they're not taking no money from them. So if you want to buy, pick a Friday, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? So we get 100%. It will be up on iTunes. It's not up on iTunes right now. It is streaming on Spotify and pretty much all your other streaming sites. That's cool. Stream us all you want. But more importantly, put us in your playlist. You know what I'm saying? Get our algorithms up and contribute in whatever way you can. We got t-shirts, pens, buttons, keychains, all kind of stuff that's going to be available. So, Black entrepreneurs.
Awesome.
But our whole catalog is up. We try to do everything pretty much official. The only album that's not like out, you only have is 2. Well, 1 album and a mixtape that you got to go to Bandcamp for. So the Where My People's At is second joint. You can't get that anywhere really. You just got to go to our site. And then the Fair Trade mixtape, you really can't get that anywhere. You got to go to our site. But everything else, whatever platform you like. I think Dig is actually, we got to re-up on Dig because I was on TuneCore. So Dig right now, big right now is only on our site, but it had been everywhere else. It just gotta, TuneCore make you pay every year. I ain't doing that no more, man.
Sure. I don't know if I've ever heard of that one anyway, so it's okay. We're moving on into 2020 now.
For sure.
We're gonna play one of the songs so that people can get a little bit of a taste for this new album that just came out on Juneteenth. And then when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about the kind of story behind the song, Dawn, or, if there were any kind of, I don't know, just like fun anecdotes or whatever about this song. We'll talk about that when we come back. We're going to talk about your release show, how that went, and a bunch of other stuff. So we've got a lot to cover. So stay tuned. We'll be right back after this track, Dawn, from the group Muamin Collective.
Seance, rather see my daughter and her friends play with crayons. Take this as yeah. From the mind to the mouth, mic cord to the speakers, from your eardrums to the soul of your speakers, everywhere in there, unseen ethers, feel it in your chest like the reefers. Before penicillin, it was on with the leeches, blood suckers to the poor, on with the preachers, fair trade with the Moors, on with the teachers. Sunrise, dawn for the sleepers.
Hey, live, drum kicking like tempo, huh? See the way that they get it, make it seem simple, huh? In a time where they wish we were simpler. Dark brown, diabolical mission, huh? Ladies in formation, brother position, huh? Brush, brew, conditioner, practitioner. For the home, the street, club, and the whipping, bruh. Say, get in that ass, just like an enema. Animated and illustrated, they get elated. Say, let me direct you if you're deviating. Cool brick with a big right in the citation. Speed demon, Bezos, Montenegro, and death wishing, gone fishing for a halo. Looking like Day-Glow, better learn your lane, no. Say, cause the road go both ways. Don't live by the sword and fall on your own blade.
From the mind to the mouth, mic cord to the speakers, from your eardrums to the soul of your sneakers, everywhere in there, unseen ethers, feel it in your chest like the reefers. Before penicillin, it was on with the leeches, blood suckers to the poor, on with the preachers, fair trade with the Moors, on with the teachers. Sunrise, dawn for the sleepers, stay on my job, niggas, never take a day off. Good rob niggas, but they broke, don't pay off. More like Russian roulette, ain't trying to see your seance. Rather see my daughter and her friends play with crayons. Take this as a warning. As I get older, despite effects of global warming, I get colder. This just ain't audible, it's that laudable. The team lean so the price is affordable. Not just man-made, but handmade. Land-made, stand for the people. Talking human beings, no such thing as illegal. Skeleton for the keyhole, you know how we go. From the mind to the mouth, mic cord to the speakers, from your eardrums to the soul of your sneakers, everywhere in there, unseen ethers, feel it in your chest like the reefers. Before penicillin, it was on with the leeches, blood suckers to the poor, on with the preachers, fair trade with the Moors, on with the teachings. Sunrise, dawn for the sleepers. Sunrise, dawn for the sleepers. Sunrise, dawn for the sleepers.
So guys, tell us a little bit about that track and what it's about or what it kind of means to you guys.
For me, man, that track is all about that drum, man. That drum just beating you up. Like it's like a march. It's like a war drum. You know what I'm saying? Like, wake up, like, let's go. You know, let's get it, get up. You know, you feel it's all in your whole body. You know, so that's where it really struck me, the chord, and that's why like the hook was just like that, just old school, just like straight up, you know, not trying to do a bunch of like internal rhyme weird stuff or like or going over the bar. It was just like bar, 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 bar. but like just real, like, it was just like super hip hop to me, and I don't know, man. And I think that's it. It covers a theme that we talk about a lot. Like I think this song is something that if you listen to Muamin, like this is what Muamin, you know what I mean? Like this is what we do. You know what I mean? This is like is a song like this like on every album. You know, it's just super hip hop. It's it's conscious, but it's real. It's not like positive rap. You know what I mean? But you get as far as like my verse when I got into it, I was riding home in the car one day, just freestyling to the beat, and I got the scheme kind of worked out. And my man Vivek, shout out to Vivek, he peeped it in my rhyme. He was like, I hear some Sadat X in there, so shout out to Sadat X because that's real. I have been listening to a lot of that come on and come on that Born Again joint. At the time,
get deep into a phrase, feel the sun phrase.
Yeah. So, because the hook is super straightforward on the, what I'm saying, stylistically, like I felt like the rhyme should be a little more off kilter. And it was it was just once I got this kind of the scheme and like the feel that I wanted for it, then it's just about filling it with content and making it feel right. And I had that bar at the end. When talking human beings, no such thing is illegal. Skeleton for the keyhole. You know how we go. That was like, that's in solidarity, man. Like because. As a black man out here, when I see like kids separated and getting put in cages, there's kids in cages right now, man. Like, 3 months later, they still in cages. You know what I'm saying? And it's really not, it's not about one little law. It's a little law. I mean, you got to fight those battles, but it's really just about recognizing the humanity, and so that's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I could go rob somebody, you know what I mean? But I would be taking away somebody's father, somebody's brother. I mean, I might be losing my life. And then, I couldn't see my daughter. You know what I mean? I don't want to be, I don't want somebody hashtagging me, man. I'm not trying to, I don't want to be no daggone airbrush on somebody's white tee, man. I'm good. Like I'm trying to live out here, and it's how we live. It's hip hop, but
I had also read the art, like the kind of short article that Steen had done ahead of the release party, and they kind of were commenting that a lot of the songs are politically packed and a little bit about the kind of like racist world that we're living in right now. And so do you think that like a lot of the lyrical content on these tracks were inspired for you guys by current events right now that are happening, whether it be immigration issues, George Floyd, stuff like that? Like how pertinent are these songs right now to you guys and to everyone as a whole?
Well, you can tell them what you told me the other day. What did you tell me the other day when you saw that? Wait. When you read the article, what was it you told me?
Which article?
The scene joint.
Oh, so like even though that it came out, previous to the pandemic, that it was like still talking about everything that's going on right now.
Right.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, we write these songs because like not only is it a continuous problem that must be addressed, it's something that like if it is ignored, it will continuously happen. Like I wish that we could write that one song where we're just like, yo, we don't got to worry about this anymore. But we can't write them songs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We don't have the liberty to write those songs. Like we cannot. At least I feel a creative responsibility to always include that message and that insight and to our music. In particular with this song too, like the vibe that I get from it is like the same that I get from my Tribe, like Oh My God music video. Like I don't know if you ever seen a video, but they're just driving down the street and the people are just coming out in the streets, you know, Busta Rhymes just on the back of the truck, like, oh my God, yes, oh my God. And like people just coming out in the street, like it's like the energy we want right now. Like, yeah, come on out, like let's get this work done. We got some work to do. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's the dawn. You know, like don't sleep on it. It's the dawn.
Wake
for
up.
Sure.
Like Spike Lee, wake up!
Yeah. He always says it the loudest too, so that's a good role model for the content of your creative work, I think. We're gonna go into the next track to kind of get this listening party started a little bit. The next song we're gonna hear is "Break Bread." Do you guys want to say anything about this song before it starts to kind of give people a little context about where you're coming from to start the song off with?
It's really kind of two benchmarks with this. One, shout out, well, not even like just shout out, man. Just brother RJ Lacey right now, I'm sure he's looking down and smiling at you know, and how his peoples is moving right now.
Yeah.
We miss that brother, and you know, he used to always be around for all the cookouts. We used to always have cookouts at our house. He was always there. I mean, and beyond just that, he was everywhere. Like he was, you know what I'm saying? If you was moving in these circles, you knew RJ. And so, you know, my brother had this whole cookout vibe verse. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh yeah, I like that. And I got locked up. And, you know, I was in, and it was about to be summer, man. You know, I'm like, man, I got to get out of here, man. Like, this food is terrible. You know, I'm like, you know, when you locked up and you trying to get something better than what they giving you, if you got some stuff off the commissary, you fix it up. You and a couple people go in and you cook it up, and they call it a break. You know, it's basically just like jail ramen kind of. And anyway, so it's kind of like the juxtaposition of like a cookout and like somebody like locked up and whatnot. And at the end, we sampled a voicemail that RJ sent me on my birthday, just like, yo, what's up? You know, how you doing, God? Like, you know, hit me up. Let me know what's good. Happy birthday. So yeah, that's pretty much that in capsule. So we don't have to get too much into it. But there's a lot of people out there right now locked up, dying of COVID, and it's jacked up, yo. You know, jail reform for real. Go ahead, hit that track.
Yeah, man. Be home soon, man. When I come home, man, have that grill fired up. And call everybody, man. A-Live, RJ, you know what I'm saying? Keish, you know, whole fam. Tell everybody, say what's up, man. I'm trying to eat good. You know what I mean? Coals white hot, flame red, spray bread.
Chillin' in the yard with the God on the grill. G.I. when the crew like we guardin' the grill. Talk about how the gold fronts don't appeal much as having your own teeth up in your grill, and that's real. Keep that as long as you in the field. Have them leaking from the vessel while they spilling the quilt. Take a shine to sell with the blood from the skeeter. Smack them and tell them they can't need free needle. Oldest rule in the book, no halfway crooks. And keep up out the kitchen when I cook. Unless you stand the heat like the sun up under your feet. Sweat porcupine needle, habanero tip arrows. Flip money monopolized like Charles Darrow. And moving money like Coke brother Will Barrows. And niggas ain't bustin', they all sterile. We got the grit, gut, and the grind in the metal.
A nigga locked down, starving, trying to catch a break. Hot water out the faucet, rice packet, then shake. Crust, Cheetos, shebang, Doritos for the taste, ramen noodles for the stretch, pepperoni, fish, steak. Listen, cooking in the kitchen, ain't nothing going to waste. First you empty out the bag, then you use it for a plate. Nigga street chefing up, cause I'm lost with the cake. Can't stop a man from eating, even cage with the Jake in the county off the lake. Count down to the house. Fuck a red zone, know what I'm talking about. Fam looking out, cash on the commissary. I got money in the bank, I don't need your commentary. Sipping Kool-Aid and coffee, they call it Foxy. Contraband hand in hand, coming with the laundry. Bitten in the bunk, keep it clean, never sloppy. Art to the border, move with a moxie. whether county or the state, if your case fed, everybody gotta eat, so let's break bread. Trade the savory for sweet just to stay fed. Dreaming of that chicken chard and the steak red. Potatoes on the side with some grilled veg. Cold white hot, but the flame red. Can't wait to lay my head in my own bed. From the penthouse to faux house, break bread. Whether county or the state, if your case fed, everybody gotta eat, so let's break bread. Trade the savory for sweet just to stay fed. Dreaming of that chicken chard and the steak red. Potatoes on the side with some grilled veg. Coals white hot, but the flame red. Can't wait to lay my head in my own bed. Whether my house or your house, break bread.
Yo, happy birthday, God. I hope everything's good, man. I'll let you do it.
Very awesome. Very, very awesome. And so a really very nice tribute to RJ as well. Yeah, because he's always supporting Grog Shop and B-Side and Coventry. I would see him out there all the time. So that was really actually very nice to hear a little something from him on that track, even posthumously. So for this next song, One Thing, what are we talking about in this one, guys?
Well, you go and say this. You took more to lead on this. Like I was just kind of like punching in off of what you was going with. So One Thing.
One thing was also a song written about when you're just overwhelmed so much, and just trying to find that maneuver through it, because if it's not one thing, it's always going to be another thing. You got to try to find that balance, that understanding. And even though sometimes the facts of the situation may be ugly, but you may be also graced with the strength to handle it. So it's about, and also we lost our one homie Cam at the time. Rest in peace, Cam. And yeah, there was just a lot going on, but I was just I just need to maintain a little bit. So, put on some, try to channel some my inner Nate Dogg Badu vibes, zen out, have something nice and, try to get it down, So,
awesome. We're going to listen to this one too, and then we are going to come back and talk a little bit more about how you released the album and when you released it. And then we will jet off into those next 3 songs as well, so that we can get all of this packed into our radio hour. So without further ado, this is One Thing from Muamin Collective. We are here talking with Josiah and James. Enjoy.
If it ain't one thing, it's another. If it ain't one lane, it's another. If it ain't one game, it's another. Hip enough to hop the train, rock the spot, do my thing. They like Jesus Christ on my name, be the Muamin. Grand view for the hues, man. Another strain, level the game, that's the aim. Paint the picture out of the frame, playing for the same. Honestly, don't hate the game, hate the stain that came and the loss of the range. Play the refrain. If it ain't one thing, it's another. If it ain't one lane, it's another. Keep your head up, know it's easy to get low. You hard-headed or you headstrong, bet to ride till you be dead wrong. You got 6 in one hand, half a dozen in your palm. Running circles, treading water. Know at times it's only harder. Higher the needle is piercing. and run red like a barber pole. Mine is spinning how the camel's limbo through the eyes of needles. Simple as one thing, make a yes man to make the best man do for less than. Say, and there's one thing, sweating number one headband. I be chillin' like Stedman. And there's one thing, can't forget about Cam Man. Basket cases from the bassinets and there's one thing, it to tell you it's a game plan. You better tell him walk a plank, man, saint man. No thanks, man, the devil wanna dance, man. Start dumping like a bedpan.
Yeah, heard what he said, man. Under the radar, still over their heads, man. On a private plane, as it all circle the drain. And they orange barrel the lanes. Cranes for Nagasaki, Cali praying for rain, for the flame. Can't get a script, try to bang. Ain't fit for the pleasure, try the pain. If you can't get the money, dummies try to fame. I'm like 3 divided by 2, 1 remain. Dough on the table, nice with a knife work. Hand pad in the mic, daughter and wife, life work. It's all the same, man, play the refrain.
If it ain't one thing, it's another. If it ain't one lane, it's another. If it ain't one game, it's another. If it ain't one dame, it's another. If it ain't one thing, 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 if it ain't one thing.
Awesome. That was One Thing by Muamin Collective. Guys, you just came out with this album on Juneteenth. Can you tell me like a little bit about the significance of that date, if there are people who are tuning in who do not know about Juneteenth, and why you chose that date as significant to when this album dropped?
Yeah, so Juneteenth is a celebration is more prevalent in the South than the North, but it's a celebration of when, like, basically the last, for the most part, the last Black folks who were enslaved were given notice, or at least people within their area and all the authorities, and the news got there that they should be free human beings, as far as the federal government was concerned. So, the Emancipation Proclamation happens, but it's not like a magic wand. Like you like, and all the shackles is like poof, and they gone. Like, no, that didn't happen. So it was people working for years, you know what I'm saying, without any knowledge of what was going on, particularly in Texas. So it really comes from Texas, because that was a very remote at the time. And so people didn't, the news didn't really spread. It wasn't no email. It wasn't nothing like that. So that kind of date is commemorated, particularly in the South, particularly in Texas. Like, it's huge in Texas. But it's been a thing in Black culture for a long time. There is no other celebration of emancipation. There's no Emancipation Day or anything like that. So it's just Juneteenth. It's just some Black shit that we just made it up. I'm sorry. It's some Black stuff.
And then
man, just, people get together, barbecue, celebrate, Black culture, freedom, do what you want to do, and at this time, I kind of thought it was appropriate. Hip hop always been an expression of freedom and saying what you got to say, being who you really are. So, thought it was appropriate to do it that day, and it was really great. Had a great time.
Yeah. Make it a paid holiday for the people, damn it.
I think I support that. I would celebrate along with everybody else that.
A lot of people celebrate. Make it a paid holiday.
And then you guys did have kind of a smaller release party at Now That's Class, which you have had almost a lot of the RBG shows there. You guys have always held down Now That's Class. It's like it's a big family there when people come out for stuff. So how did that go? Like, did it feel weird playing out after like so many months of having to be quarantined? How did it go? Kind of a check-in on the scene, like seeing what's happening.
So so what happened is we showed up early. We had everybody that was with was like got the mask. Also these Deegan printed some of these. Thank you, Deegan. He came through. Salute, Taylor made.
Awesome.
And just try to keep the doors open and the traffic moving. For the most part, they had the parking lot emptied out, and they put picnic tables in the parking lot so that people could stand not so close to each other. But it was always hard to navigate spaces like that. And I mean, as performers, you just trying to you can't be all rah-rah, you gotta hang back, and just dig with the vibe. But I mean, I feel like everybody had a good time. Like some of the people who were present, I actually remember seeing them there for, we played a show. We played a show there right before quarantine, and then there was also another pop-up show.
Like the day before.
The day before. Yeah. I was up there. Jordan Fine was up there. How you doing, Jordan? See, R.A. was up there. Toya was up there. How you doing, Toya? Mwah. So, and that was the last time we saw each other. So it was nice being able to see, some people just come out and, show love. Ran out of hand sanitizer. It was all good.
Yeah.
But was definitely walking around just like.
Yeah, it was like a reunion type vibe, for real.
But yeah, and I mean, for the most part, I mean, it was a great way to bring in the holiday. Also, there was an event going on with Safe Heights up at the Peace Park, so that went very well. They're doing their thing too, so that's what's up. I know
it was events all over the city.
All over the city.
It was packed with stuff. It was barbecues all over. It was a Black Lives Matter thing. It was like 20 different events. So everybody, I think it was a collective thing that had been building. Just everybody just kind of felt like it was time to really put on. And so I mean, if we gonna have 15,000 people at some Trump rally or somewhere, you know what I mean? I mean, I feel like there needs to be a balance. We got to try to do things the right way and try to keep our people safe. But we got to have something in life to do, you know what I'm saying, to motivate us to keep fighting for the things that we deserve. Just our health is one of them. So, we try to be safe. We did the live stream thing. We weren't very technically adept.
No,
for real.
It always happens. There's always technical issues.
The sound turned out well, and we got a lot of footage. Shout out to homie Toby, who came through and he shot some footage. So we're gonna be editing that down at some time here in the near future. So you'll actually get to see it.
Yeah, that's all right. That's good. That's awesome. It looked really good, and that's one of the very, very few places I have been since we're allowed to go back out now and be outside and all that stuff, and they're doing things the right way. So it's a really good venue and a good space to have that show at. That's awesome. I wish I could have been there. We are gonna kind of jump back into the album, listen to a couple more songs here before the 9 o'clock hour is over. The first one that we're going to listen to is You Are. Anything to say about this track before we dive in, guys?
This track just about, your loved ones, man. And it's just about, being there, and loving people while they're here, in this time we got, what's really important is about, some introspection about like silly things you got going on in your head, not allowing you to maximize your relationships and the time you got with people and things like that. It's a love song. It's not about, a love song in a traditional kind of way. But yeah, man, crazy beat, man.
Crazy beat.
And this was the last song that got added to the album, right?
Yeah.
Think so. This was like a last we were like finalizing the track list, and I was like, man, any other beats you got? Like, any play this, and I was like, that's got to be something. Yeah. And so it was.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, take care of each other, y'all. Yeah, take care of each other. Okay, yeah. You're your own best thing and all that goodness. Okay, like we all we got. Like take care of each other out here.
Discussing, turn fussing and cussing. What it is thought over nothing. Memory blanking and statements full of resentment and hatred. Misdirected, misplaced it, found it, expounded and faced it. Ugly as ever it tasted, bitter to sweet. Searching for a little relief, however brief. And we all related, carbon dated. Our relationship is rocky, that's an understatement. Got a layered history, check the striation. Guess my fault line caused the vibration. I live for you, and rather live for you than die for anything. But if I die for anything, it's you. I live for you, I'd rather live for you than die for anything. But if I die for anything, it's you.
In the long run, say that we all done. When it's all said and done, just make it a long one. Endure, ensure you strive, take it with pride and drive to the point you're heaving on the roadside. Know why? Would if you had the breath left, keep you neck and neck in the stretch, help you out the trench, game on, get you off the bench. Not the same sense, they got hobbled in the pit with a gearbox throttle. Bottles get coddled, find the floor when they ain't fondled. Re-emerge as a new model. Cats in the cups when they don't get swallowed. Move on the good foot, the rest will follow. In the long run, said we all done. When all said and done, just make it a long one.
It was you that talked me down that night, stepped to VC. Never returned the gift, but this is proof of receipt. Made it, still breathing, still grieving. The loss of a southern comfort in a real season. Stayed in contact after the fact, I came home. Convos with you and MJ on the phone, a touchstone. Reminder I could do right even with wrong. Smile through the cancer, can't believe that you're gone. What's the use now? For words never said. You were all in my heart, I was all in my head. Got the news, I sat quiet on my bed. Took a little while to pen these letters for the dead. It's for you. I'd rather live for you than die for anything. But if I die for anything, it's you. I live for you. I'd rather live for you than die for anything. But if I die for anything, it's you. I live for you.
Awesome. And then remind people who are just tuning into the live stream right now, we are talking to Muamin Collective. We're here with James and Josiah. And Josiah, remind us. Yeah, he's there. He's around. Remind us where people can go to get more information about Muamin Collective, as well as listen to this album.
Yeah, so any platform, any social media platform you want to, Instagram or Facebook, type in Muamin. That's MUAMIN Collective.